Hi, it's Greymouse, and I am here today with another episode of Greymouse Does Stuff. In today's episode we're going to be looking at Pinnacle Studio. I'm going to show you how to create multiple menus on one DVD. And to give you an example, I'll show you right here. As you can see, there are multiple episodes here, which are basically separate menus here, and each menu has got its own chapter list. Also, each menu returns to the main menu as well. All these things you need to add in by yourself, and I'll show you how to do that soon. So to give you an example of what the finished menu looks like, as you can see down here, the time is moving along, and I'll select an episode, say episode 3. Okay, it's hopped over to episode 3, and as you can see, episode 3 is divided into 4 chapters, which is playable, and it also has a main button which will return you to the main menu. As you can see here, it has returned from episode 3 all the way to the beginning, but I'll explain all that stuff and show you how to do it all soon. I would recommend that you watch my very first episode that I've made about creating menus. I'll be skipping over quite a fair bit of stuff, assuming that you've watched that video and have a basic understanding of how menus work and how to create various buttons and customize your own main menu. So let's begin. So to begin with, we will start with a new project. Okay, so we're basically going to add 4 videos to the timeline, and we're going to create menus for each one of them. So we'll just start with just some video. So I'll just simply drag and drop the timeline. Each of these videos are representing individual episodes, so if you have a TV program and you would like to split each episode, you can use this method to create a multi-menu system to play and choose which episode you'd like to play back. So for the moment, what I'll do is I'll just drag some video to the timeline. Okay, so we have got about 8 minutes worth of video. Let's move this along. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to add the first menu, which will act as our main menu, and we will add individual sub-menus for each episode afterwards. So we'll just start with the main menu. Just do a simple menu here, drag and drop, and for this we don't want any chapters, so we do no on this one. Okay, and as you can see, these question marks basically means that these have not been linked to anything. And to bring this up, it is very useful, you need to tick this particular tick box here, show chapter numbers. in my previous video I hadn't done that, but it just simply makes it easier to see where everything is linked together. So just simply tick this one, and then as we go along these question marks will be replaced. So we've got the first menu. This is going to be the main menu, and now we'll just start adding some sub menus for the individual episodes. So we go back, and I'll choose a completely different menu system. This is episode 1, and again do no. Now we choose another menu for episode 2, again do no. And the same again. No. Okay, great. So here we have main menu and some 4 sub-menus. And as you'll see straight away, that each of these sub-menus have got different colours on top. And what I mean by that is if we have a look at the M2 over here, you can see that it is an orange colour. And if we have a look at the next menu, which is menu number 3 for episode 2, it is a green colour. This is important to note because when we add the chapters to the submenu, each of the chapter links will be the same colour, and that's how you know which chapter belongs to which menu. So this one is a sort of a dark, this M4 is a dark green, and menu 5 is a sort of a yellowish, light yellow colour. Okay, so this is where things start getting a little bit tricky. We have to basically set up all the chapters for this menu. We also have to make sure that it returns to this menu, and there is an option for you to go back to the main menu in case you'd like to choose another episode to watch. So the first thing we have to do is we have to go to the properties of this menu. So we right click and go to clip properties. As you can see, the first chapter is already highlighted, so I will show you how to basically do one for each of the chapter listings. So here we go, down here, and we go create disc chapter, and as you can see from up here, one that has created a chapter 1 which is orange, and it has also added the chapter link in the menu up here and called it chapter 1. Okay, and what we wanted to do is we also want to make sure that at the end of the episode that it will return to this particular menu. So in order to do that, we basically right click on the edge of the last video clip here, and we go to return to menu. Great, so basically what will happen is when it reaches the end of this particular episode, it will return to the submenu for the second episode. If you have a look again, it is orange in colour to differentiate it from the other menus. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add a few more chapters. So we'll just drag this timeline back to the menu, Now this is where things get a little bit tricky, but I will show you what to do. So to set another disk chapter, basically you have to first of all click on the chapter you want to set, which is this one, and as you can see it is green, and basically we just right click somewhere along the timeline and set disk chapter. So this is now chapter 2, so that's the second chapter, and basically we just have to do the same thing with the next chapter. So first of all you click on the chapter you want to set up here. As you can see it's green, and then you right click and you set disk chapter. Okay, so that's 3 chapters on one page, and I would like to add one more chapter, and in order to do that you have to click on here. Now this here with the number 1 tells you how many pages there are on this particular menu. So so far we've only got 1 page, and we would like to add one more chapter which will result in 2 pages. So we basically click on here, show next page, and once again make sure the first one's highlighted, and then right click, set disk chapter. Episode 2's menu has got 2 pages, so 1, 2 pages. If you can see up here, this is page 1 and this is page 2. Great, so I will go through and do the same for all the other menus. And we'll repeat the process with this menu. And now for the final menu. So there you have it. Basically I have created 4 submenus. As you can also see is that each submenu have got their own colour, so you know which menu you're working with. So this one's green, that one's a darker green, and each of these menus have been set up to return back to its own submenu. And we need to do one more thing for these submenus. We need them to return to the first menu. So if you've finished watching the episode, you can tell the DVD player to return to menu 1, which is up here, which is a cyan colour. And first of all we'll just go to the clip properties of this menu by going right click, clip properties, and we basically select edit menu. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're just going to change this particular button and I'm going to just rename it to main, which is short for main menu. And the most important thing we need to do here is change the button type. So to do that, we click on here, buttons, and we change the previous button into a root button. Okay. So, and by changing that to a root button, it should now return to menu 1. So we'll just give it a quick test to show you that it works. So main is now a root button. And as you can see, if it is green like that, it basically means that Pinnacle is busy processing, and you have to wait until it is orange. So basically don't do anything on your computer while it is green. Wait till it is orange, because then Pinnacle has processed the changes. If you start working on the video while it is green, it will cause Pinnacle to behave unexpectedly. So if you ever have a video on a timeline and it's got a very long green line, you're just going to have to do nothing and wait until Pinnacle has processed it, and it becomes a orange timeline, which means that Pinnacle's processed it. But anyway, we're going to test out this main menu or root button that we've added here, and we do that by clicking on DVD, which will start the preview mode, and we press play. And if we can look down here on this timeline right here, you can see the time bar going across, and it will loop back to the beginning. And we just press main really on here, press main, and voila, it has returned us to the first main menu. So the only thing really, so a few more things to do, but that's basically returned us back to the main menu. So I'm going to alter all the other menus to do exactly the same. So here we go. So I'll add some text here. Main. I'll resize it. It's too big by highlighting it. Arial's fine. Just make it smaller. Remember, see my first video in regards to editing menus and how to do all this. It's all in my first video. It's not too hard, but once you've got it, then what I'm doing now is not too hard to follow. And we're going to make that a root button as well. Great. So that is a root button. Root button, yep, that's fine. Again, have to wait until this is orange, and sometimes it takes a long time, but that's the way it works. This one already has a main button, but I'll just make sure that it is the right type of button. Yes, it's a root button. Okay. Now for the last menu. Okay, fantastic. So we'll just give that a quick test. Great. So that's returned us back to the main menu. So all the episode sub-menus have now got a button to return to the main menu. As you can see, main, main, and main. Alright, so the last thing we have to do is we have to link the first menu, menu 1, with all these sub-menus so that you can choose whichever episode you would like to watch of the particular program you are trying to put onto DVD. So we go to clip properties, and again make sure that this tick box is ticked so we know what's happening. And basically what we do is we click on the first one, which is a grey colour, light grey there, and then we right click on the M2, menu 2, and we basically say set disk chapter. And as you can see, it has added the second menu for the second episode to the first menu. It's still called chapter 1, but we'll fix that up soon. So now we do the next one. Click on the next one up here, click, and go to the right click on M3 and set disk menu. Then again click on the empty thumbnail and right click on M4, not left click, just straight right click, set disk chapter, and again wait until that green is finished before doing the next one, and again single left click on the last one, and then straight away right click and then set disk chapter. Great, so that's now, as you can see up here and here, that each of the sub-menus are now linked to our very first main menu, M1. And to prove that it works, I'll give you a quick demo. So we click on episode 1, first menu, that's that one. As you can see down here, if you watch down below here as well, you'll see that it will skip to the various menus. Main menu, number 2, it's down here again, main menu, number 3, again it's shifted to the 4th menu, main menu, this one, it's the last menu, main menu. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to do a bit of tidying up, because I don't like name chapter that's being used there, so we're going to change that to episode. You basically have to leave the hash in there because the hash tells Pinnacle which chapter number it is. So it's sort of basically a shortcut to a number. So we'll just change the first chapter to episode 1. Episode. And as you can see, not see very clearly, it has changed the first one to episode 1, and we just do the next one, episode, and we don't actually press enter on this, by the way, we just straight away click on the next button, so don't press enter. And again, episode, and click on the next one, and episode. Great, so that's that done. So if we go back now, you can see that instead of being chapter 1, 2, 3, it's now been renamed to episode 1, 2, 3 and 4. And basically there we have it. So if you enjoyed this particular tutorial, please feel free to like it, leave comments below, and if I have any requests, please let me know. Any requests of what you'd like me to show you next in Pinnacle Studio. Thanks for watching.